Welcome, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something that's, well, it's really critical in the world we live in now. The global cloud security solutions market. As pretty much everyone leans more and more on digital stuff, making sure it's all secure, that's become job number one. So our mission today, basically, to give you a shortcut, we want you to be totally up to speed on this tech sector. It moves fast, and it's super important. We've gone through the latest forecasts, pulled out the key insights for you. We'll look at the big picture globally, see how different regions are doing, even zoom into specific countries. And we're looking at the trends from 2021 all the way out to 2033. Why does this matter to you? Well, understanding these trends gives you a really clear picture of where digital security is going and why that impacts, well, pretty much everything. Okay, let's unpack this then. Starting with the global market outlook. What's the big story the numbers are telling us here?
Yeah, okay. So the global picture, what's really fascinating, I think, is just how clear these numbers make it. Cloud security isn't optional anymore. Not at all. It's become totally essential, like a basic cost of doing business if you're digital. Think about it. Back in 2021, the market pulled in $6.3 billion in sales globally. That's billion with a B.
6.3 billion in 2021.
Right. And fast forward to 2033, the forecast says it's expected to more than double. We're talking $19.5 billion.
Wow, double. That's huge growth.
It is. And that growth, that expansion, it represents a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of nearly 10%, 9.85% specifically.
Almost 10% year on year, sustained over that long.
Exactly. That tells you it's not just, the early tech companies jumping in. This is broad. It's a consistent enterprise-wide thing now. Securing the cloud journey is fundamental.
That nearly 10% annual growth really is incredibly strong. So, okay, if the global picture is that healthy, I'm curious about the regions. Where are the real hot spots or interesting differences? Let's zoom in a bit. How are different parts of the world contributing? Maybe start with North America.
Sure. North America, yeah, it's definitely a huge piece of the puzzle, big contribution to those global revenues. In 2021, the region clocked in at over $2.1 billion in sales.
Okay.
And the projection for 2033, a massive $6.2 billion. So still really solid growth, a CGR just under 9.5%.
And within North America, I assume the U.S. is the giant.
Oh, absolutely. The U.S. is, the major player there. It's projected to almost triple its market size by 2033. We're talking nearly $5 billion just for the U.S.
$5 billion. Wow.
But interestingly, look at Canada. It's actually growing faster in percentage terms. Its CGR is over 11%.
Higher than the U.S. rate.
Yep. Suggests maybe a really aggressive push there into adopting cloud and crucially securing it. Canada's expected to hit over $1 billion by 2033.
Oh, that is interesting. And Mexico?
Mexico's growing too, definitely. From a smaller base, around $85 million in 2021, but projected to grow to over $219 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of about 8%.
Okay, so strong growth across North America, but Canada's pace is notable. Let's hop across the Atlantic. How's Europe looking in the security space? Similar drivers.
Europe's showing solid growth as well. Sales revenue back in 2021 was over $1.7 billion.
Right.
And that's projected to hit over $5 billion by 2033. The CAGR there is strong too, about 9.3%.
And who's leading the charge in Europe?
Germany.
Germany is the largest listed market, yeah. Projected to reach over $920 million by 2033. But what's quite noteworthy is you see really strong similar growth across other key countries. France, for instance, is set to hit nearly $750 million. And Russia is posting a really robust CGR, over 10.4%.
Over 10% for Russia.
Yeah. And Italy and Spain are right up there, too, showing strong growth rates. Spain's is actually over 10% as well. Italy just under.
So it's pretty widespread investment across Europe then, not just concentrated in one or two places. Exactly. It's not just the traditional economic powerhouses driving it all.
Okay, now, Asia Pacific. We always hear about dynamic growth, rapid digital transformation there. Does that translate into even faster cloud security growth?
It absolutely does. Asia Pacific, it really stands out. It has the highest growth rate of all the regions globally.
The highest? Wow. What's the number?
A really strong CGR of over 10.6%. That means revenue is expected to surge from about $1.65 billion in 2021 to over $5.5 billion by 2033.
Okay, that's impressive. China must be a huge part of that.
China's definitely a significant contributor, yes.
Yeah.
Projected to reach almost $1.9 billion by 2033. But you know what's really remarkable?
What is that?
India. India stands out with one of the highest growth rates, well, anywhere in the world, an absolutely outstanding CAGR of over 12.4%.
12.4%. Goodness. What's driving that, do you think?
Well, it seems to show a market that's not just expanding its digital footprint incredibly fast, but it's doing it with security really baked in from the get-go. Maybe kind of a leapfrog effect, you know?
Skipping over older, less secure tech, perhaps.
Potentially. Jumping from $265 million in 2021 to over $1 billion by 2033. It's quite the jump.
$1 billion for India alone.
Okay.
Any other standouts in APAC?
Yeah, Australia and Singapore are also seeing really rapid growth. Both have KGRs over 11%. So yeah, the whole region is just buzzing with activity in this space.
It's fascinating seeing those different speeds. You wonder if it's common drivers or each region has its own unique accelerators. Like South America was happening there. That might explain its high projected growth.
South America is also geared up for impressive growth. The projected KGR is over 10.8%.
And another one over 10%.
Yep. The region as a whole is expected to reach nearly $1.3 billion by 2033, up from about $370 million in 2021.
And within South America, Brazil leading.
Brazil leads, yes, with a solid CGR itself over 10.7%. But look at Argentina and Colombia. They are showing really strong, almost identical high growth rates, both over 11.4% CGR.
11.4. Okay, so clearly significant accelerating investment happening across the continent there.
Seems driven by a pretty broad push towards digital, yeah.
Okay, how about the Middle East? We hear a lot about big national digital transformation plans there, Vision 2030, things like that. Does that show up in the cloud security numbers?
It certainly does. The Middle East market is definitely trending upwards, growing from just over $200 million in 2021 to projected over $720 million by 2033. That reflects a robust CGR of almost 11%.
And any specific countries leading that charge?
The UAE really stands out. It has a particularly high CGR, over 12%.
12% in the UAE.
Yeah, catapulting its market from, a fairly modest $34 million or so in 2021 to over $130 million by 2033.
That's a huge jump. Really reflects those big national ambitions, doesn't it?
It seems to, yeah. Saudi Arabia is also a key market, growing strongly, CAGR over 10.7%. And Turkey is showing very similar strong growth, too.
Okay, one more region to cover Africa. What trends are we seeing there in cloud security?
Africa's market shows consistent growth. It's moving from about $240 million back in 2021 to a projection of over $700 million by 2033.
Okay.
That reflects a solid CAGR, just over 9%, about 9.165%.
So steady growth. Any key countries to mention?
South Africa is a key contributor. Its CAGR is over 9.6%. And Nigeria is significant too, growing steadily at just under 9%. So yeah, steady but definitely significant progress across the continent in securing cloud use.
Right. So taking all of that in, North America, Europe, the incredible pace in Asia-Pacific, strong growth in South America, Middle East, Africa.
Yeah.
What does this all mean for you listening, looking at the big picture, beyond just the dollars and cents?
Yeah, if we try and connect the dots, pull back a bit,
Right.
It's just crystal clear, isn't it? The growth for cloud security, it's firmly pointing upwards everywhere. What these numbers really tell us, fundamentally, is that the whole conversation has shifted. It's not, should we go to the cloud anymore?
Right. It's how do we secure the cloud properly?
Exactly. Companies aren't just migrating workload now. They're making secure digital transformation like a core part of their business strategy. It's imperative.
And the different regional speeds suggest maybe different approaches to risk or regulation.
Could be, yeah, different speeds, maybe different priorities kicking in at different times. But the main message is the same everywhere. Trust. Trust in your digital infrastructure is now directly linked to how good your cloud security is.
And that trust is driving billions in spending.
Billions and billions globally. That's the bottom line.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. The sheer scale of this market, those impressive growth rates, often double digits, and the really fascinating regional differences. North America's huge base, Asia Pacific's incredible speed, especially India. This deep dive has, I think, given us a really solid overview of a tech sector that's just going to get more and more vital.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Given this incredibly fast, sustained growth we're seeing everywhere, what does that actually imply, for how businesses will operate in the future? What about the demand for cybersecurity skills? That's got to be exploding, right?
Good point.
And maybe even what does it mean for trust itself in this world that depends so much on the cloud now? What's the next big thing, the next frontier? Is it AI-driven security? Totally new ways of building cloud stuff. Lots to think about.
Excellent questions to mull over. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the global cloud security solutions market. We really hope you continue exploring what these big trends mean for you and for your industry. Have you ever stopped to think about, the invisible digital fortress, the one that's supposed to be protecting our sensitive information from all those threats online?
It's kind of mind-boggling how fast it all changes, isn't it?
It really is. And today, we're diving deep into the heart of that defense. Cloud security solutions. We've got some great material for this deep dive, mainly drawing on market intelligence from cognitive market research.
Yeah, and our goal here really is to cut through all the noise for you. We want to pull out the really crucial bits about what's driving this market, the big challenges it faces, and maybe some exciting trends shaping where it's all headed.
Think of it as a shortcut, right?
Exactly. A fast track to getting up to speed on something pretty critical for anyone involved in digital transformation today.
Okay, so let's kick things off. What would you say is the fundamental reason, the main force pushing so many businesses towards prioritizing cloud security right now?
Well, it's definitely got layers, but the absolute core driver has to be the increasing cloud adoption among enterprises.
Just more stuff moving to the cloud.
It's more than just the volume, though that's part of it. It's really a fundamental shift in how companies operate. They're moving entire operations, applications, data, everything to cloud platforms.
Why, though? What's the pull?
Oh, the benefits are huge. Things like scalability, being more agile, and often, yeah, saving money, cost efficiency is a big one.
But that creates new problems.
Precisely. As they make that shift, they quickly realize that their old ways of doing security, that sort of castle and moat approach, it just doesn't work anymore. So this massive move creates this urgent need for security that's built for the cloud, robust frameworks that protect data wherever it lives.
So they're actively looking for specific tools.
They are. Tools for data privacy, secure access, meeting compliance rules. It's all become essential for just keeping the business running smoothly and making that digital transformation actually work.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I guess that big move you described, it probably bumps right up against another big factor here, strict data protection regulation.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
How are those laws, which sometimes feel like they're constantly changing,
Yeah.
how are they actually pushing the cloud security market?
Well, they're acting like a pretty strong catalyst. You've got major international regulations putting on serious pressure. Think about Europe's GDPR
Right.
or HIPAA in the US for healthcare data, California's CCPA. These aren't just suggestions. They mandate specific, often advanced security controls, and the penalties for getting it wrong. They can be substantial.
So that threat, the financial risk, forces their hand.
Absolutely. It compels organizations to adopt these end-to-end cloud security systems specifically designed to meet those regional rules or even industry-specific requirements.
And what do those systems typically involve?
Things like really strong data encryption, constantly monitoring who's doing what, automated ways to respond if something bad does happen, all geared towards proving compliance.
Okay, so businesses are moving to the cloud, regulations are demanding better security.
Yeah.
But then there's the other side, the attackers, this constant arms race.
Right.
How much has that threat landscape really changed, and how's that driving demand for these solutions?
Oh, the change is huge. Today's cyber attacks are they're far more sophisticated than what we used to see.
Like what?
Everything. You've got massive ransomware attacks, crippling businesses, really convincing phishing emails, tricking employees, insider threats, which are notoriously hard to spot, and these APTs, advanced persistent threats.
Those are the ones that sneak in and hide, right?
Exactly. They can sit inside a network for months, undetected, quietly stealing data, and traditional security, the kind built for your own data center, just can't keep up with these kinds of dynamic threats in the cloud.
So that's where the new cloud security platforms come in.
Precisely. Many of them are now powered by AI, by machine learning, behavioral analytics. They're designed to proactively spot weirdness, to respond automatically to emerging threats.
So it's about real-time protection.
Real-time protection, yeah, but also safeguarding the really important stuff. The company's reputation, the integrity of their data, and, critically, customer trust. You lose that, it's hard to get back.
Okay, it's really clear what's fueling this market's growth. But, even fast-growing areas hit roadblocks. What are some of the big challenges? What might be slowing things down a bit in cloud security?
Yeah, that's a good point. No market grows without friction. And one of the biggest hurdles we consistently see involves the challenges in integration with existing systems.
Ah, the legacy problem.
Exactly. For a lot of companies, especially larger, older ones, trying to smoothly plug these shiny new cloud security tools into their maybe decades-old IT infrastructure is, well, it's really tough.
What kind of problems does that
It
cause?
can create blind spots, gaps in visibility. It can actually weaken your overall security control because things aren't talking to each other properly.
Specific issues.
Oh, yeah. Compatibility problems, just finding people with the right skills who understand both the old and the new systems. And honestly, just the sheer complexity of trying to manage security if you're using multiple different cloud providers.
Right, the multi-cloud thing.
Yeah. It's especially hard for companies that are sort of halfway there moving from on-premise systems to maybe a hybrid cloud setup. That transition is tricky.
And I imagine that difficulty, that complexity, feeds right into the next challenge, which is
Sure.
often, let's be honest, a major sticking point. The high expenses of advanced security solutions.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a barrier is the cost, especially if you're not a giant corporation, say for small or medium-sized businesses?
It's a really significant barrier. Truly comprehensive cloud security, the kind with real-time monitoring, deep encryption, that fancy behavioral detection we talked about, it doesn't come cheap.
It's a big investment.
A very big investment. And for smaller businesses, SMEs, it can feel prohibitive. You're not just paying for the software license.
Right, there's more to it.
There's the cost of integrating it, which we just discussed, training your people to actually use these complex tools effectively, and then the ongoing maintenance and updates. It all adds up.
So affordability is a real hurdle.
Definitely. It seriously impacts how quickly these advanced solutions can be adopted across the board, especially beyond the large enterprise space.
And thinking globally now,
Mm-hmm.
does this cost and complexity create a sort of divide? Our sources mention a final challenge. Limited awareness in developing regions. What's the picture there?
Yeah, there's a definite imbalance. While you see, developed economies in North America and Europe aggressively rolling out these advanced cloud security frameworks.
They're ahead of the curve.
Generally, yes, but
Mhm.
in many developing nations, they're lagging quite a bit behind.
Why is that?
It's a mix of things. Sometimes it's limited awareness, maybe not fully understanding the evolving threats or the solutions available. Often there isn't the same level of strict regulatory pressure we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And sometimes the basic cloud infrastructure itself is just developing more slowly. So the push for cloud-native security isn't quite as strong yet.
And that impacts the market.
It does in two ways. It slows down the overall global expansion for security vendors, obviously, but it also creates this uneven security posture globally, kind of a digital security divide, which can be risky for everyone in our interconnected world.
Okay, so we've covered the drivers pushing things forward and the challenges holding things back. Let's shift gears now and look towards the horizon. What are the really exciting trends reshaping cloud security? What's coming next?
Right. Well, one of the most, I'd say, revolutionary trends is the integration of AI and machine learning. These are becoming absolute game changers in cybersecurity.
How so? How are they being used?
They're being woven directly into the core architecture of cloud security platforms now. They give these platforms capabilities that humans just can't match at scale.
Like spotting threats faster.
Spotting threats faster, yes, but also detecting really subtle anomalies in huge amounts of data that might indicate a problem, automating complex responses to threats, and even predicting future risks before they actually happen.
Wow, prediction. That's powerful.
It is. The benefits are huge. You get real-time analysis, much faster decision-making. It improves accuracy dramatically, cuts down on those annoying false alarms, and can shrink incident response times from, hours or days down to minutes.
That's incredible. AI moving from reaction to prediction. Now, speaking of shifts, there's another trend that feels less like technology and more like a whole new philosophy, the rise of zero-trust architecture.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
It seems like a fundamental change in thinking. Could you break that down for us? What is zero trust?
Absolutely. It really is more than just tech. It's a security mindset, a philosophy that's really gaining traction. The core idea, and this is the key takeaway, is simple. You don't automatically trust anyone or anything.
No inherent trust.
None. No user, no device, no application gets a free pass, even if it's already inside your network perimeter. That traditional idea of inside is safe, outside is dangerous, that's gone.
So what replaces it?
Continuous verification. You constantly check identities and permissions. You enforce least privilege access,
Meaning
meaning people and systems only get the absolute minimum access they need to do their specific job and nothing more. And then there's microsegmentation.
breaking things up.
Exactly, carving up the network into tiny, isolated zones. So if one part gets breached, the damage is contained, it can't easily spread everywhere. These concepts verify always least privilege, microsegmentation. They're becoming standard practice in modern cloud security. It's moving from trust but verify to never trust, always verify.
Okay, never trust, always verify.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But how do companies manage all this, especially when, as you mentioned, they're often using multiple different clouds? That seems incredibly complex.
It is complex, and that leads directly to our third major trend, multi-cloud security becoming the new standard.
Because everyone's using AWS and Azure and Google Cloud.
Precisely. Or some combination thereof. Very few large organizations rely on just a single cloud provider anymore. So naturally, there's a growing demand for tools that can give them centralized control across all of those different platforms.
So tools that work everywhere.
Essentially, yes. Multi-cloud security solutions are designed to provide things like unified policy management, set a rule once, applied everywhere. They offer cross-platform visibility, so you can see what's happening in AWS and Azure and Google Cloud all from one place.
A single pane of glass, kind of?
That's the goal, seamless protection across all these different environments. It's about achieving a holistic, consistent security posture, bringing some order to that potential multi-cloud chaos.
Okay, so bringing this all together then, it's clear the cloud security solutions market is really in the midst of a major transformation.
Absolutely.
Driven by, well, all these things we've talked about, incredible technological leaps, those important regulatory demands, and just the changing needs of business itself.
Right. And even with those challenges, we discussed the integration headaches, the cost issues, the overall direction, the trajectory for this market. It's unmistakably upward. Enterprises get it now. They're doubling down on securing their cloud infrastructure because they know it's absolutely fundamental to their future success. It's not optional anymore.
Yeah, it feels like organizations are truly rethinking how they protect their digital assets, whether that's through these amazing AI defenses or adopting that rigorous zero-trust approach or getting a handle on multi-cloud complexity. It's a whole new world.
It really is. And maybe that's the thought to leave with you, our listener. As you absorb all this, what really stands out to you? What do you see as the single most impactful change in how organizations are protecting themselves in the cloud today? Is it the tech, the mindset, something else?
Definitely something to ponder.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, this fascinating deep dive was made possible thanks to the comprehensive market intelligence provided by Cognitive Market Research. They were our key source for today's insights.